What is question number 1? Define an offer. Okay. Explain the essentials of a valid offer. How an offer is different from an invitation to offer. Before we get into the answer, may I just try to understand from any one of you out there, what do you mean by an offer? What do you mean by an offer? Anybody out there? Hello?
Proposal for an agreement.
Proposal for an agreement. Okay. Any other answer? The definition of offer should contain two important terms. If you recollect of what you would have viewed in the lectures, I would have told an offer is not just an offer. The offer should have the willingness to offer with an intention to receive the acceptance from the other. You get remember to this definition?
Yes, sir.
There are two different terms. First term is called the willingness. Now, if I don't have any willingness to offer, if I don't have anything for me desirously to give it to you or take it from you, I will not see any offer having a value. Now, is that the only thing that is required in an offer? No. It is also the willingness of me plus the intention to receive the acceptance from you. I would have given an example in my lecture that a BMW salesman trying to offer the BMW to a beggar. Now, normally when you see, would beggar be having that much of money to buy a BMW? So in this case, it is for me, it is not an offer at all because maybe the willingness is there, but the intention to receive the acceptance from the other is not there. So for all of you to understand and remember from the examination perspective and also from the understanding perspective, the definition of offer should contain two different terms. One is willingness, the other is called intent to receive acceptance from the other. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The word proposal and offer are used interchangeably and it is defined under section 2A of the Indian Contract Act 1872 as one person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that other to such act or abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. Is that the two different words that the definition also is saying through section 2A of the Indian Contract Act?
Yes, sir.
Now there are two things. An offer can be made to do something on offer or an offer can be made to not to do something. I would have also given an example where the student comes and tries to sing in my son's reception, wedding reception. I go and say I will give you 10 lakhs of money, please don't sing. So here an offer of 10 lakhs is given for not doing something, which is called abstain from doing anything. Abstain is stop, don't do. Abstain is in a negative sense. Guys, understanding it?
Yes, sir.
So try to understand an offer is something which is made by one person to another person, which signifies the willingness of this person to another person with an intention to receive the acceptance from the another person to this person, whether to do it positively or not to do positively. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, moving on, the essentials of the valid offer. Now, an offer must be capable of creating legal obligation. True, false? Correct?
Yes.
True, sir.
You are coming to my home and you are inviting me for your marriage. Now, here there is an offer. Correct?
Yes, sir.
I also accept it. There is an intention received from me to you. But will I call this as an offer? The answer is no, because it is not having any legal obligation in the contract. It is having a social obligation. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The legal obligation should be something whereby the offer after accepted should be capable of taking to the courts of law. If not, I will not call that as a legal obligation. I will only call it as a social obligation. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Must be certain, definite, and not vague. What do you mean by this? I would have told in my lecture about a oil purchase. Suppose I am selling 1,000 tons of oil to Neha Reddy. The contract is like this. Miss Neha, I will supply 1,000 tons of oil. Neha says, okay, sir. Now Neha and his team comes to my godown to take 1,000 tons of oil. Now when they came to my godown, they see that in one side I have coconut oil, the other side I have palm oil, the other side I have gingerly oil, the other side I have the olive oil. Now tell me, is Neha getting confused at this juncture?
Yes, sir.
Now was the offer clear? Was the offer was certain? The
No.
answer is no. Because I have told 1,000 tons of oil. Okay. If I would have made it very clear in my offer, 1,000 tons of olive oil. Now is it making very clear offer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I will give you another situation where I have not told olive oil, where I have not told coconut oil. I have told only oil. Okay. And when Neha comes to my godown, she sees only one oil. There is no other oil at all which is sold by me. It is only coconut oil. Now tell me, Neha Reddy will take the coconut oil, or will she be still saying that it is confusing?
She'll take coconut oil, sir. It is
She'll
certain.
take, sir.
In that situation, the contract, the offer is said to be valid, not valid?
Valid.
Valid.
Valid. So you should not be very attached to only the theoretical part, which is talking about certain, definite, and not vague. You should also apply your common sense to understand the situation of the question. And if the question is very clear that it is only oil, and also I deal only in coconut oil, the Neha Reddy acceptor need not know which type of oil. And if she is ready to accept, it means that she has accepted for coconut oil. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Must be communicated. What do you mean by this? Can I make an offer to you in my dream?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I can. But from the courts of law, it is said to be an invalid offer because there is no communication that has been made to the intended acceptor. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
When something is told to you, you can take an action on it. If it is not told to you, or assuming the veranda has not called you or has not sent you a message or not done anything for you to come to this class, They have not messaged, they have not called, they have not WhatsApped, they have not put it in the group. Now, no information came from Veranda from last week to this week. Now, if you are not there in this class, can I go ahead and file a case against you that you did not turn up for the class?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Because there was no communication of the offer made. So please understand, for an offer to be valid, it has to be made, communicated to the acceptor. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Must be made with a view to obtaining the assent of the other party. So this we have already seen, but still for us to quickly understand, this is something related to the other person's acceptance. So whenever you make an offer, you should have the intention to receive the acceptance. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
shall not
sir.
just like that make an offer. You cannot just like that make an offer. You know that the other person cannot accept this offer, but still you want to make an offer. It is not called as valid offer. Now, for example, you cannot offer the MBBS college seat for a commerce student. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Because a MBBS seat can be confirmed, can be given only to that person who has done science in his plus 1 and plus 2 and also passed NEET examination, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when you make an offer, you should have the intention to receive the acceptance from the other party. Clear, ma? Right. Maybe conditional. Can an offer be conditional?
Yes, sir.
Example. Example. Hello. I want an example. Offer may be conditional. What do you mean, Rakshita?
Yes, sir.
Give me an example for this. How many of you are from Tamil Nadu? Rakshita, are you from Tamil Nadu?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which part of Tamil Nadu?
Chennai, sir.
Have you heard about this offer called Adi offer,
Yes, sir.
Diwali offer,
Yes, sir.
Pongal offer,
Yes, sir.
where you get 50%, 30% discount on certain dresses or certain jewelry?
Yes, sir.
Now, can I say that this particular sale is valid until Diwali? This sale is valid until Adi Masam?
Yes, sir.
So, offer may be conditional, which means that the offer need not be strict. The offer need not be unconditional. The offer may be conditional. Another example, when you go to the liquor shop, they would have put a condition that the liquor will not be sold to a person below the age of
18.
18.
oh, everybody knows about that. Okay, 18. Right. So this is another example for maybe conditional. Offer should not contain a term the non-compliance of which would amount to acceptance. I cannot send a offer to Arzu. I cannot tell Arzu, if you are not replying within 4 days. Okay. If you are not replying within 4 days, fifth day, I will understand that the contract has been born. I will understand that the offer has been accepted. Can you put this as a condition like that?
No, sir.
Okay. And if you put that kind of a condition where you are indirectly forcing somebody to accept, is it valid offer?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right. Next. The offer may be general or specific. True, false.
True.
True, sir. True.
What do you mean by general offer? An offer which is
General
made to the
for-
public at large.
Yes,
Correct,
sir.
huh?
It's true.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
What is specific offer? An offer which is made to a specific person or a specific group of persons.
True, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. It may be express or implied. Can
Yes,
I
sir.
make an offer expressly by the words or by written?
Yes, sir.
Is there a
Yes,
possibility
sir.
where I can make an offer without opening my mouth?
Yes, sir.
How? Any example? Huh? How?
Taking the book from bookshop and coming to the counter for the payment.
Beautiful. That's a wonderful example there. It's an implied offer that has been made for you to come and pick up the book. I have kept the book in an order, and it is an offer which has brought you to the bookstore where you take it and go to the bill counter, which means you have accepted it by just a implied offer. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. A statement of price is not an offer. Correct? Huh? I am giving, for example, you wanted to buy Maruti Baleno. Okay. Yeah. You know this car Maruti Baleno, Maruti Suzuki Baleno. There is a car called Baleno, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now you are inquiring to buy Maruti Baleno, okay? He is giving a list of prices of various variants of Maruti Baleno. Maruti, Maruti petrol variant, Maruti Baleno diesel variant, Maruti Baleno automatic variant, Maruti Baleno gear variant, Maruti Baleno Zeta, Maruti Baleno Alpha. So he gives various prices for Maruti Baleno. Now tell me, this list shared to you, will it make an offer?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
A statement of price which is given to you will make an offer? Now, will you be buying all the cars?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Baleno petrol variant is a separate car. Baleno diesel variant is a separate car. Baleno automatic gear is a separate car. Baleno gear is a separate car. Now, I have given you the list. This cost 8 lakhs, this cost 8.5 lakhs, this cost 10 lakhs. I have given you different rating. Now, the price list which I offered will make an offer to you, or it will be giving a price list notification.
Notification.
Of which you go back and ask the Maruti dealer, I want to buy Maruti Zeta petrol variant. Now tell me what is the price. He will say, ma'am, I given you in the list. We will ready to offer you at a point of 8.14 lakhs. Now, if you accept it, the sale is complete. Agreed?
Yes.
How does an offer different from an invitation to offer? Now, what do you mean by invitation to offer, Kana? Hello?
Inviting the offer, sir.
Can I say it is one step above the offer? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now, it is not an offer made, it is an invitation to make an offer to offer. See, for example, the shoe, the shoe may be like, say, Reebok shoe or Adidas shoe is kept in the glass window, and while you are passing through the Adidas showroom, you see that shoe placed in the window. Now, is it inviting you to come to the shop to make an offer to buy that shoe?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, this is one step before the offer, correct?
Yes, sir.
You should
Yes,
clearly
sir.
understand what is that which is invitation, what is that which is offer. An invitation to offer, does it create a legal obligation?
Yes, sir.
An invitation to offer, does it create a legal obligation?
No, sir.
Why? Because we just
Sir,
now studied, that the offer, you see this first point, must be capable of creating legal obligation, correct?
yes, sir.
An invitation to offer does not create a legal obligation. See, for example, you are just looking at the shoe, okay? Now, after seeing the shoe, you don't want to buy that shoe. Can you move to the next store? Can you walk across the Reebok showroom? Can you go
Yes.
to the next shop?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
if at all you say invitation to offer can create a legal obligation, which means you are bound to accept the moment you see the shoe.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Correct. So if I am seeing and not accepting, it means it is just an invitation. So that invitation is just an invitation. It is not giving any legal obligation for you to accept. Understood?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
But an offer
Yes.
is not like that. Offer is something which will create a legal relation between the offerer and the acceptor the moment it is accepted. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So please understand, an offer is different, an invitation to offer is different. An invitation to offer is a first step, and it is a preceding of offer, and the legal obligation does not arise in case of an invitation to offer, but in case of an offer, the legal relation arises the moment it is accepted. Clear, Kana? Question
Yes,
number
sir.
2. What do you understand by the term consideration? Are there any circumstances which a contract and the provisions of the Indian contract against Sarto without consideration is valid? So, what do you mean by consideration?
Like, sir, in the contract, giving and taking is there, sir.
So, consideration is something in return. Can I say like this?
Yes, sir.
I give you something and you give me something, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So I give you money, you give me a product. I give you a service, you give me money. I give you classes, you give me money, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So consideration, it means that it is something in return and which is an exchange for something in a contract. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Under the Sale of Goods Act, can consideration be in kind?
No, sir.
Why? Because the definition says it has to be exchanged. The sale should be complete only when there is an exchange of price, exchange of money, correct?
Yes, sir.
So in the normal contract, a consideration can be in kind also. For example, when I take class, you may give money or you may give something in terms of my teaching. For example, your father, assuming that he is a farmer, and for taking classes, he gives me 6 months provisions or 6 months rice bags to my home. So can I take classes for that also? I can, correct?
Yes, sir.
So consideration is something which is in return. In other words, it can be called as quid pro quo. Consideration need not be positive. It can be negative also. What do you mean by this? For not doing something, for me not doing something, you give me money. You remember that I told you in my son's wedding reception, you are trying to sing, and where I say don't sing. For you not to do something, I am giving money, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where my money giving is positive, but you remaining silent is said to be abstain, stop, negative. So can I say, for you to shut up, I will give money, which means mine is positive and yours is a negative. Possible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So consideration may be positive, negative. Consideration may be past, present, and future. Is past consideration a valid consideration under Indian law? Is past consideration a valid consideration under Indian law? Hello?
Sir, can you repeat, sir?
Is past consideration a valid consideration in law?
Yes, sir.
Is it a valid consideration under English law?
No, sir.
Under English law, past consideration is no consideration. Okay. Under English law, past consideration is no consideration. Okay. So in Indian law, a consideration is said to be positive, negative. A consideration may be past, present, or future. Okay, wow.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, can consideration be unlawful?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Can consideration be unlawful?
Yes.
Sorry. Hello.
No, sir.
Consideration must be lawful. Correct?
Yes, sir. If it is unlawful, sir, it will become void or illegal, sir.
Very wonderful. Super. Correct. Now, can a consideration be inadequate?
No, sir.
Now, what do you mean by inadequate? See, this is Apple iPhone 12. Okay. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Apple 12. What will be the rate of it?
In lakhs, sir. Lakhs.
It's almost about 1.2 lakhs. Okay. Now, I want to give it at 100 rupees to Arzu. Can I give?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, consideration may be inadequate. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is between the parties to decide. If Gokul Raj, who is the owner of the iPhone, wanted to give it at 100 rupees to Arzu, and Arzu wanted to buy it at 100 rupees, it is between her and me. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But it cannot be given at a free of cost. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So consideration must be real, though not adequate. At least 1 rupee should be the exchange of the price for the sale of the iPhone which I showed it to you. So these are all the very important understanding of the term consideration, and we'll understand the exception also along with it. It is doing something. It is also not doing something. It is a written promise. Okay. It is past, present, and future. It is, it may be express or implied. Whatever that is given from one person to another person, it is called as consideration. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, can a contract be valid without a consideration?
No, sir.
A contract must, I will tell you, a contract will have consideration along with it. A contract must have consideration along with it. Okay. If the contract is not having consideration, is lacking consideration, then such contract is said to be void. Okay.
Yes, sir.
However, there are certain exceptions to it. Exception number 1, natural love and affection. Now, can I buy something for my daughter, and can I get money for that?
No, sir.
Now, anything which I am buying out of natural love and affection, will it require a consideration?
No, sir.
So,
For example, the same iPhone I wanted to buy for my daughter. Okay. I will pay the money. Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But the bill can be in the name of my daughter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose my daughter in the future, after I bought her, for some reason she wanted to sell that phone. Can she go ahead and sell?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you look at it very carefully, my daughter has not paid the money, which means for her the consideration is 0. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But still the sale, what she does to another third party is said to be a valid sale. From me to my daughter, the consideration is 0. But from my daughter to somebody else, there is a consideration which is a valid sale. Correct?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So anything which is done out of natural love and affection need not have any consideration, but still the contract between the sale between Gokul Raj and his daughter is said to be valid from the eyes of law. Okay, wow.
Yes, sir.
Compensation for past voluntary service. What do you mean by this? Compensation for past voluntary service. Assuming you found a necklace on the road, okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you give it to the person who lost it. At that time, the person promises that I will give you 1 lakh rupees if you come to my office. And when you go to his office, he is not giving money. Now tell me, can you get that 1 lakh of money from him?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How? Now, assuming this seed, you got the necklace, you have given it to me. I promise that I will give you 1 lakh when you come to my office. You come to my office and I'm not giving you money. Now we both go to the court. Now you are saying, my lord, Gokul Raj, who got the necklace from me, promised me that he will pay 1 lakh, but he is not paying me 1 lakh. Now the court is asking me, Mr. Gokul Raj, what is your argument? I say, my lord, I am ready to give that 1 lakh, but what is the return consideration that she will do for me? Okay. Now the court will say, Mr. Gokul Raj, while you made the promise that you will give 1 lakh, understanding?
Yes, sir.
While you
Yes, sir.
made that statement of promising to pay 1 lakh, already one person has completed his activity, which is called the voluntary service of the past. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So after the promise, I need not do anything because I have already done something before the contract has come into picture. Understood?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So in this situation, I have to pay that 1 lakh, even though after the contract, nothing will be done by you. The doing of giving the necklace has been done before the contract was born. So in this situation also, there is no consideration from you after the contract, but the consideration has already moved before the contract. So from the eyes of law, even for the past voluntary service, the contract is said to be valid. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Promise to pay time bar date. What do you mean by this? I have given you time to pay. Okay. You are the debtor and I am the creditor. You understand this logic, no? Creditor and debtor.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I am the creditor and you are the debtor. Okay. Now you have taken loan from me. Okay. I have given you time for you to pay. All right.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
But after the due date, you come back and say you need some more time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I am giving that extra time also. For that extra time, you don't pay me anything. You don't give me any extra interest. Now, is there any extra consideration which comes from you for the extension of time?
No, sir.
Now, during that extra time which I have given, for which I don't take anything, I take only zero interest. Still, is it said to be valid?
Yes, sir. It is
See, in
valid.
the extent it is in the extended time, there is no extra consideration that I charge you. But still, the extended time is said to be valid even though you don't pay me anything extra, because the extra time that I have given is not for the new time, it is for the old debt and old interest. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Completed gift. What do you mean by this? Yeah, I give you a gift for your marriage. After some time, can I come and take back the gift from you?
No, sir.
So anything which has been gifted cannot be taken back because there is no consideration from your end. Okay. Is agency require a consideration? Can you be my agent? Can you be my agent?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
if you are an agent who is doing a free of service for me, such contract is said to be valid, not valid?
Valid, sir.
Because agency does not require, okay, agency does not require consideration as a mandatory. Consideration may be there, may not be there. Still, agency is said to be a valid contract of sale. Okay, va? What do you mean by bailment? Hello? What do you mean by bailment? Anybody out there?
Taking care of others' property, sir.
Taking care of one's property, correct? Taking care of one's property, which means I give it to you and you take care of the goods, and you have to return that goods in the same condition what I give you. For example, you are my student, and assuming Arzu is there in Delhi, I am sending some goods to Arzu to keep it with her, and I am saying, Arzu, I will come to Delhi after 2 months. I will pick up from you. Now tell me, during those 2 months, she has kept the goods on behalf of me, for which she is not charging any rental. Now tell me, is the bailment valid, not valid?
Valid, sir.
Because the bailment need not have any consideration, even though if there is no consideration, the bailment is said to be valid. Charity. Now again, I have given something to somebody on charity. Can I take it back?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So that shall be also a consideration without which the contract is said to be valid. For example, I have given a land to a trust or to a charitable organization. Now they are selling that land to somebody. Now, is that the sale valid? The answer is yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you, for example, see, I have 10 grounds of land. Okay. 10 grounds of land. Okay. I am giving it to a medical foundation which is planning to do medical service to the poor patients without charging anything. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
Yes, sir.
I have 10 grounds of land which I am giving it to the medical foundation who is planning to do a free service. Okay. Now the land has been given to me. Sorry, the land has been given by me to the medical foundation at a free of cost. Yes, sir. Hello. Am I audible? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have given my land to the medical foundation, which is planning to do free service on medical. Okay. Now I have given the land. The land is given at a free of cost, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose after 20 years, you want to sell that land to another person. Now, the land which is sold by you after 20 years to some other person, is it valid, not valid?
Valid, sir.
Sir.
So, can the court say that the previous sale, the previous donation did not had an offer of money? So, I am calling this as a invalid sale. Can the court say no? Because the contract between Gokul Raj and the medical foundation was on a charity nature and for which the consideration is not required. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Third question. A sends an offer to B to sell his second car for $150,000 with a condition that if B does not reply within a week, he shall treat the offer as accepted. A is correct in his proposition. What shall be the position if B communicates his acceptance after 1 week? Tell me the answer for the first. What is the question? Neha Reddy, can you read the question or can you tell what is the meaning of this question? Neha Reddy. Hello. Okay. Rakshita, can you read?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of this question?
A is offering B for to sell his second-hand second car for 1,40,000.
Hmm.
If B does not reply within a week, then he will treat it as acceptance of B.
Now, is it a valid offer?
No, sir.
Why?
No, sir.
You cannot force somebody to accept, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, in the first question, A compelling B to accept or compelling B by some form of acceptance, it is said to be invalid, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. You yourself has said the first answer. Now, what is the second answer? What shall be the position if B communicates his acceptance after 1 week? The acceptance must be made within the time limit prescribed by the offer. The acceptance and offer after the time prescribed by the offer has elapsed and will not avail to turn the offer into a contract, correct? Now, what is the time given for acceptance of the offer?
1 week.
If it is done after 1 week, is it a valid acceptance?
No, sir.
No,
Elapse
sir.
of the time will make the offer die.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. You have understood the question and answer. Now we'll move to the fourth question. X, Y, and Z jointly borrowed 50,000 from A. The whole amount was repaid to A by Y. Decide in the light of Indian Contract Act 1872 whether Y can recover the contribution from X and Z. We have discussed like this question in our previous class also. Correct or not correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Can Y recover the contribution from X and Z?
Yes, sir.
Why? The joint promisee, the joint promisors, even though they have not expressly entered into a contract with each other, but there is an indirect contract between each other to compensate each other if any one is settling the contract on behalf of the three of the people. Correct? That's what we understood in the last class.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So can Y recover the contribution from X and Z?
Yes, sir, he can.
Legal representatives of X are liable in the case of death of X. True, false? Assuming
True.
Mr. X has died and his legal representatives has to pay his share of that 50,000.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why no? Suppose if Mr. X has left certain estate, certain assets to his son. Now his son is not entitled to pay out of the father's property. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
See, when I die, I leave a loan of 1 crore. But I have given assets to my son for 2 crores. Now, if the lender comes and asks money from my son, can my son take 1 crore out of the 2 crore and settle the loan?
Yes, sir.
Suppose I have left 1 crore loan and I have not given anything to my son as an asset. Can my son say, I will not pay the money to you, lender, because my father has not given any money to me? Can he say that?
No, sir.
He can say that because the son, the legal representative, are responsible only to the tune of, I repeat once again, the legal representatives are responsible to the tune of the money inherited from the father and not beyond that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So in this case, for example, I'm telling you, I have left a loan of 1 crore, but I have not given anything to my son. I have given only 0 to my son. Now my son can say, I will not repay the money. I will not give the money. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right. Y can recover the contribution from the assets in case Z becomes insolvent. Can he go and do that? Why can Y recover the contribution from the assets?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Why? Z has become insolvent, but Z assets are there to recover some portion of the debt of Z. Y can recover, no?
Yes, sir, they can recover, but they can't ask Z.
The question is, see, the question is, can Y recover the contribution from the assets in case Z becomes insolvent?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They can go and ask. See, the point is, if Z assets are 0, if the Z assets are 0, they cannot ask because he has become insolvent, correct?
Yes, sir.
But if the assets have some value somewhere here and there, 10,000, if there is 10,000 which we can recover, can Y go and recover that Y 10,000 from Z?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The answer is yes. Okay, wow. Y can recover the contribution from X and Z because X and Y are joint promisor. Legal representatives of X are liable to pay the contribution to Y. Our legal representative is liable only to the extent of property of the deceased received by him. Correct? Gokulraj giving 2 crores, out of which he can give 1 crore. Gokulraj not given anything. So the son of Gokulraj will say, I will not pay the loan. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Y can also recover the contribution from Z assets. Clear, Kana?
Yes, sir.
A student was induced by his teacher to sell his brand new car to the later at less than the purchase price to secure more marks in the examination. Accordingly, the car was sold. However, the father of the student persuaded him to sue his teacher. State whether the student can sue the teacher. What is the meaning of the question? Katija,
Yes, sir.
what is the meaning of the question, Katija?
That the teacher asked the student to sell his new car
Correct. For
at the less
securing more.
price, at the less price from which he
Hmm.
bought. So
Okay.
to secure more marks in the examinations.
Okay.
So according like how the teacher said the student done that means he sold the car at the
Hmm.
price what teacher asked for. Now the father of the student who actually sold the car to his teacher want to sue the teacher.
Now possible, not possible.
Possible, sir.
Under what and what under what concept of the Indian Contract Act?
Coercion.
No, undue
Undue
influence.
influence.
Three different conditions are required to file a suit under undue influence. Number one, is there a fiduciary relationship between a teacher and a student?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like mother and daughter, father and son. Why a student is sent to a teacher? To study, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there a trust? Is there a trust in the relationship?
Yes,
The
sir.
answer is yes. Now, once the trust is clearly understood, is there a dominance which the teacher is trying to exercise on the student?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Through this dominance, the teacher is taking some advantage from the student.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now, when
sir.
all these three can be satisfied, can I file a case against the teacher to recover the money for the car or to recover the car out back?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So the answer is that if all the three conditions are satisfied, then you can go ahead and file the case to recover the property. Clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Question number 6. X and Y are partners in a partnership firm. X introduced a manager, as his partner to Z. A remained silent. Z, a trader, believing A as partner, supplied 100 TV sets to the firm on credit. After expiry of the credit period, Z did not get the amount of TV sets sold to the partnership firm. Z filed a suit against X and A for recovery of price. Advise Z whether he can recover the amount from X and A under the Partnership Act 1932. Now tell me, who are all the partners?
X and Y.
Now X introduced whom as his partner?
A.
A.
Now A, did he accepted it or he did not accepted it?
He remained silent, but he accepted it.
It is not accepted, but he has remained silent. But the
Yes,
Yes, sir.
point is, Z has started believing that. Who is Z? Z is a third party to the firm, correct?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
He has believed that A is a partner and has also supplied 100 TV sets. Now, why did Z give credit to X and Y partnership firm? Why Z gave credit of 100 TV sets to X and Y firm? It is purely because he believed A is also a partner in the firm, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When he come to
Yes,
know
sir.
that he is no more a partner, can he sue X and A for the recovery of price from the Indian Partnership Act? when he comes to know that A is not a partner anymore, he is not a partner at all, can Z recover the money from A? Can Z recover the money from X? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, he can recover.
This is called partner by estoppel. Correct? What is estoppel? Cannot deny the fact at a later point of time. Correct? Huh? What do you mean by estoppel? Tana. What do you mean by estoppel? Cannot deny the fact. Okay, va?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It is also related to partner by holding out. I am holding back. I am holding it, saying that I am also a partner by my silence. Okay. So when a partner is wrongly introduced as a when a person is wrongly introduced as a partner and he is silent by estoppel or by holding out, then any liability arising out of that particular transaction, he shall also be responsible for a fraudulent intention. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So thus XY firm will also be responsible and Mr. A also will be responsible for repayment of money for the 100 sets of TV televisions. Okay.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. Master X was introduced to the benefits of partnership of Mrs. ABC and Co. with the consent of all the partners. After attaining majority, more than 6 months has elapsed and he failed to give public notice as to whether he elected to become or not to become a partner in the firm. Later on, Mr. L, a supplier of material to Mrs. ABC and Company, filed a suit against Mrs. ABC for recovery of the debt due. What is the question? What is the question, Kana? Master X, what do you mean by this?
So Master X is minority here, sir.
So minor has been admitted into which firm?
ABC, sir.
Partnership firm.
ABC.
Has he been admitted with the consent of all the partners?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, after attaining majority, what is the time frame within which the minor has to give his acceptance to continue as a partner?
6
months.
months.
6 months.
If he does not give so,
He will be in
he
the
will become the
partnership.
partner, sir.
he will be automatically become a partner in the partnership firm. Correct? Huh?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now with this understanding, give me the answer. 1 minute. Huh? To what extent X will be liable if he failed to give public notice after attaining majority? He will be responsible for his share or he will be responsible for the entire amount of money. Correct? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can Mr. L recover his debt from X?
Yes, sir.
So can Mr. L recover the debt from X? The answer is yes. The X will be responsible for his share of liability towards Mr. L, the supplier of ABC company. Correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Right. He becomes personally liable to the third parties for all acts of the firm done since he was admitted to the benefits of partnership. Okay. His share in the property and the profits of the firm remains the same to which he was entitled as a minor. In the instant case, since X has failed to give a public notice, he shall become a partner in the MB in the Mrs. ABC company and becomes personally liable to Mr. L, a third party. Clear? Mr. L can recover his debt from him also in the same way as he can recover from any other partner. So this is what we discussed also, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
SK Infrastructure Limited as a paid up share capital divided into 6 lakhs equity shares of rupees 100 each. How many equity shares?
6 lakh.
How many equity shares?
2 lakh. 6 lakh.
No. 6 lakhs equity shares. Per share, how much?
100.
100.
100.
So what is the total share capital value?
6 lakhs.
The total value of the shares is 6 crores, correct?
Yes, sir.
Calculator hai? You have calculator with you? 6 crores into 1 is 6 crores. Sorry, 6 lakhs into 1 is 6 lakhs. 6 lakhs into 10 is 60 lakhs. 6 lakhs into 100 is 6 crores, beta, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the
Yes,
value of the share capital is how much? 6 crores, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
2 lakhs equity shares of the company are held by central government. So out of 6 crores, how much is held by central government?
2 lakhs.
2 lakhs.
Out of 6 crores,
Sorry, 2
how much?
crores.
Out of 6 crores, 2 crores is held by
Central government.
1,20,000 equity shares are held by government of.
Maharashtra.
Now, how much crores they hold? 1.2 crores, correct?
Yes, sir.
Explain with reference to relevant of the company provisions sector 2013 whether SK Infrastructure Limited can be treated as a government company. Now tell me, can they be treated as government company? SK Infrastructure is a government company or not a government company? Now, what is the definition of government company, children? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, ma. You have not completed the definition of government company.
Completed, sir.
Sorry, completed. Can I repeat it once again for the benefit of all of you out there?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Government company is a company whose paid up share capital is held by the central government or state government or central and state government or state government and state governments or by a state government more than 51% of the paid up share capital. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, central government is having how much shares?
2 crores.
Government of Maharashtra is holding how much?
1.2 crores.
Now, out of 6 crores, 3.2 crores is held by whom?
Government.
Government.
Now, 3.2 crores divided by 6 crores, am I more than 51%?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, can I conclude this as a government company?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 3 by 6 is 50%. 3.2 by 6 is more than 51%. Correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Government company means a company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by central government, state government, or governments, or partly by central government or partly by one or more state governments. Okay. And the section includes a company which is a subsidiary of a government company also. So 51% total paid up share capital is held by Maharashtra and the central government, and whereby SK Infrastructure Limited is a government company, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Anil formed a one-person company on 16th April 2018 for manufacturing what?
Electric cars.
The turnover of the OPC for the financial year ended 31st March 2019 was about 2.25 crores. What is the turnover?
2.25 crores.
His friend Sunil wanted to invest in his OPC company. So they decided to convert it voluntarily into a private limited company. Can Anil do so? What is the condition for converting the OPC into a private limited? A minimum of 2 years should be in existence, and during the 2 years you cannot convert OPC into a private limited, correct? No?
Yes, sir.
The time limit for you to stay in a OPC is 2 years. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Suppose during these 2 years, if your turnover is more than 2 crores, or if your paid up share capital has crossed more than 50 lakhs, now should you have to convert it mandatorily from OPC to a private limited company? The answer is yes. Please understand, Kana. A OPC when it is formed, it cannot change its nature. It cannot change its characteristics. Guys, with me?
Yes, sir.
You cannot change the characteristics of the OPC into a private limited for a period of 2 years from the date of incorporation. However, during this 2 years, the paid up share capital has crossed 50 lakhs or the turnover has crossed 2 crores, then the OPC has to be mandatorily converted into a private limited or a public limited. Guys, understanding?
Yes, sir.
Now this is the rule. This is the law. Now tell me, can this company be changed?
Yes, sir.
Why? On what condition?
It is exceeding the turnover of 2.25 crores, sir.
No, it is exceeding the turnover of 2 crores.
2
This is
crores.
2.25 crores, and hence you can make the conversion. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Can I go to the answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
As per the provisions of sub rule of Rule 3 of the Companies Incorporation Rules 2014, an OPC cannot convert voluntarily into any kind of company unless 2 years have expired from the date of its incorporation. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
However, if the threshold limit is increased beyond 50 lakhs or average turnover during the relevant period exceed 2 crore rupees, then even though 2 years have not expired from the date of its incorporation, since its average turnover during the period starting from 16th April to 31st March has exceeded 2 crores, Mr. Anil can convert the OPC into a private limited company along with Sunil. Correct? Answer is correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. So you have to be very clear on the rule, and if you write the rule properly and if you write the conclusion properly, you will get the full marks. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Naveen incorporated a one-person company, making his sister Navita as the nominee. For forming a one-person company, is nominee a important person?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, who is forming the one-person company in this question?
Naveen.
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 Who is who is the nominee there?
Navita.
Navita, his sister.
Okay. Now, what is the question? Navita is leaving India permanently due to her marriage abroad. Due to this fact, she is withdrawing her consent of the nomination in the state one-person company. Taking into consideration the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, answer the questions given below. if Navita is leaving India permanently, is it mandatory for her to withdraw her nomination in the said 1% company? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Why? Why? On what ground you say yes, sir? The member of 1% company and the nominee of the 1% company must be an Indian citizen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Must be a resident in India, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If he or she should be a resident of India, what is the time limit? 182 days in the previous calendar year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me, if somebody is going abroad permanently, can she still continue to be the nominee of the company?
No, sir.
Because the law says the member of the company and the nominee of the company should be an Indian citizen as well as a resident residing in India. To claim the status of resident, you should have stayed in India for a period of how many days?
182 days.
Okay. The second question is, if Namita maintained the status of resident of India after her marriage, then can she continue her nomination in the said 1% company? Can she?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, it is mandatory for Navita to withdraw her nomination in the said OPC as she is living India permanently as only a natural person who is an Indian citizen resident in India shall be a nominee in OPC. Correct? So she is going permanently to abroad and whereby she is losing the residentship, where she is also losing the citizenship. So should she withdraw the nomination? The answer is yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
In the
sir.
second
Yes,
question, yes, Navita can continue her nomination in the said OPC if she maintained the status of resident of India after her marriage by staying in India for a period of not less than 182 days during the immediately preceding financial year. Okay?
yes.
Okay. Right. So these are all the questions for the day. And if you have any other doubts, you can ask me. I have another 5-10 minutes to take up the questions. Otherwise, thank you from my side.